Show Us Your Tips. Daggy with you for a Saturday preview. Unfortunately, Beaver's stuck with work commitments again. So just me today. We'll see if we can get through the unofficial day 3 of the championships from Randwick, the all-age stakes day. We've got Mornington to look at as well. So we'll get stuck into Randwick, where the rail is in the 7 metre from the 1,000 to the winning post, 5 for the remainder. Rain around apparently this evening and tomorrow. A little bit unsure to make of that. Perhaps rails in run and leaders, but we'll see how the day starts to pan out. We kick off with the 1,400 metre midway, back to midways on these cards, benchmark 72. And a couple I like here, looking for a bit of value. First is Isaiah, who led up well in a pretty hot provincial wildcard race there, just nabbed by Terramata and the couple of Australian bloodstock horses late, with Molly Burke on. I think it'll be stamped urgent. Roller Crossing take first lead here from gate 8. So I'm going to give it a chance. And I liked Silvanito, who chased Commemorative first up for the new stable with Nathan Doyle there. That was a pretty good run. Obviously, Commemorative is not a bad horse. And Suck Run here on hopefully not too far back. Hopefully finds a spot close to leaders back. $7.50 looks fair enough. I'll try and cover both of them. I think Resistable's a live chance as well, as is Hellbont and You, who's flying in midway grade. We'll see if it turns up in the other race a bit later on, though. The second is the Highway. Didn't spend a great deal of time on a deep highway, 1,400 metre class 3. I went looking for the done runners, as I tend to do here. Belvedere Boys Gate 1 hopefully is close enough. Hopefully it doesn't get buried too far back. I'm hoping Nash is proactive. All things being equal, I think it's going to be hardest to beat here. Gets through the ground okay if it is soft. And Nash just starting to find a little bit of form. From Tip of the Spear, I think can run well. I think hasn't been doing a bad job in Doomben. Comes back here, gets a claim for Jet, who appears on a Saturday again. And perhaps is the one over the odds. Next best, absolute last chance for Rapidash there. The third is the Mostyn Cooper Stakes for 3-year-old fillies. Not a strong race by any means. I know there's a couple of chances here. I'm going to stick with my girl who got the job done pretty well at Caulfield. Inhibitions, it appears back in Sydney, first time in a while. A long while, in fact. And bouncing off that with Tommy Berry on Swooper's Gate, running line, hopefully around the $5 mark. Runs well here, on top for me. In what's a pretty weak race, Miraval Rose can improve off that first up run, takes the lead here. And I thought Scarlet Oak is an interesting runner. I was shocked at the price. Thought it might be a bit longer, but impressive New Zealand debut, straight to Waller. Impressive trial. Might be a talented little girl, so not much to beat. Maybe the price is fair enough. Next best, they're the only 3 I'll entertain for the early quaddie. The fourth is the Frank Packer Plate 3-year-olds, 2,000 metres. Again, a race bereft of a heap of chances, I think, and I've been dragged by default to Tannhauser and Saltcoats. The 2 Waller runners. Tannhauser looped the field, chased Ducasse last time out, was very good. Looks like 2,000 metres should suit at this stage of the game. J-Mac on, again short, paying that tax, but live chance for Saltcoats. Does need a win, is all I'll say about it, but is right in this race. A bit sick of Kintyre, so probably makes it a good thing now I've said that. And couldn't find a great deal away from them, to be honest. Some of these I've given chances, plenty of chances in the past, but nothing that really has grabbed my attention here. The fifth is the Hallmark Stakes, the 1,200 metre Group 3. Nice little sprint. We've lost Holyfield. And I've gone to the blue colours here. I think front page has come up quite short. Live chance, no knock if you want to back it, but I'm going to go looking for the fresh one here in Valana. Nice trials as usual. Goes really well fresh. Got the job done. Or chased IME decent enough last time first up, but does have a decent first up record. Nash takes a ride. It's going to be sitting 1-1. I'm going to make it hardest to beat from Kalina, who absolutely flies fresh these last few preps. And there's a nice price around the $10 mark. I'll cover it as well. Probably worked out fresh is best there. Maybe 1,100 metres best as well, but we'll give it a chance here. I think the other 2, nice value around the pair of them. The 6 is the JRA Plate here. I've gone looking for the Australian bloodstock colours here. New Energy, very nice Australian debut. Just given absolutely none. in the George Ryder. Nice trial since, and J-Mac goes on. I think it's just go time here now, third up. If we're running on, I'm going to put it on top from our Mania. Freshened up, given a month off from the nice 2,400 metre run. Back to 2,000 metres. $13 looks good coming off chasing Post Impressionist last time out. We'll play around with the both of them. If we can get a decent price on them, that'll be about all I'll cover here myself. Other bits and pieces, Faulkner Park. I think Boy D'Argent can bounce back as well. The quaddie kicks off with the Champagne Stakes Group 1 for the 2-year-olds over the mile. Sticking with Manal, only has to back up from what it did last time out. And I think can win again. Gets a nice run here for Jamie Carr. I don't think it's going to be... It's New South Wales have mapped it 3 back the fence. I think it will be given a bit more of a chance from there. Jamie Carr's not one to wait. But clearly on top from Broadsiding, who I think out to the mile just keeps improving. That was a pretty impressive win. Gets a quick backup as well. Gets James McDonald just taking on. I know that form is tied to linebacker, but just a little bit against linebacker here in saying the mile's going to suit Broadsiding, as we've seen, a bit better there. Group 1, 400 metre all-age stakes comes up next. Very, very interesting race, a good race. And I hate to say it, but I really like Espiona here. It's not one I've ever had much luck with, but probably should have won the TJ. Never got a crack. Clear A here. I think it's going to be fighting out. She's going to be fighting out the finish. From Golden Mile, I'm going to make it the main danger. Hasn't had a great deal of luck last couple of times out. Went back trialled since. Big price in the 30s. Give it one more chance. Obviously, Chain of Lightning beat Espiona home. Has to be considered that. And Sunshine in Paris next best. But fairly keen on Espiona, actually, and I don't feel overly comfortable about it. The 9th, a benchmark 100. Very interesting here. And track pattern will decide at this stage whether I'm going to stick with Wind Chat. For the sake of this show, I'm going to put it on top. Going really well. Has to now go leader up in grade. I know that, but might be right place, right time with a few resuming. I'm going to play for a split in the quaddie in this leg, though. First being Welwal. Claim for Amy McLucas. I know, big race for her, but nice horse. Ran to a place for us last time out. Grabini Fresh was interesting, and I'm going to look for a few others in the form of Kinlock, who I think is a big price still, and a couple of others, and see if we can get this Jimmy Star beat when we get to the quaddie. The last is a benchmark 88, 1,200 metres. I'm not completely sold on Kazoo and the form around it, but leader in the last. Trials were good. Going well enough, I think. Bounces straight into Bunny. Hardest to beat here for me. Peril also going well enough here. Swoopers, Gate, that Tashi form is good. It fits this race really well. We're going to make it the main danger, if not best result. And Mortagos has trialled really nicely this time in. Underrated, real line chaser, perhaps an underrated horse, and I think is over the odds in this one here, around the $11 mark. Interesting way to finish the card, those last couple. Which we'll get to our quaddie from Randwick and see if we can't find ourselves a little split here. First leg, as I said, I'm just going to go skinny. 3 Broadsiding, 7 Manal. Second leg, 2 Golden Mile. 8 Chain of Lightning, 9 Espiona, 10 Sunshine in Paris, 12 Southport Tycoon, doing good things out to the mile. The 3-year-old there. Third leg, 3 Welwal, 5 Grabini, 7 Jojo Was a Man. Okay, trials this time back in. 8 Kinlock, 12... I could put Jimmy Star in, leave it out. If you're feeling brave, maybe swap it for Waterford. And also 16 Wind Chat, the leader. I'll consider Waterford as well. Not Waterford, the other thing. Brigantine. And the last 2, Watagos, 6 Ryanberg, Mickey D. Give it another chance for the stable, the fact they've brought it up here. 7 Peril, 11 Amur, who I talked about last time when it was kept for this, 12 Kazoo, and 18 down the bottom, Mars Mission. $100 gets you about 30%, maybe a touch more with a couple coming out. My best on the card, I'm going to stick with the blue colours in the 3rd Inhibitions, number 3, race 3, and value, we'll look for a split in that 9th. We'll go numbers 3 and 5, Welwal and Grabini, see if we can knock one off there. Got to head down to Mornington, where, as I wait for my best bets to refresh, The rail is in the true. They haven't watered. There's some rain around yesterday. They haven't watered all week, so I'm suggesting it plays dead. Locals on pace is generally the flavour of the day on a card like this. So let's see how we go. We kick off with the 1,200 metre 2-year-old race. Going to go with... I'm going to actually spec one here with Bring Forth, the Price and Kent runner, who trialled really well alongside Strasbourg, who is a city performer. Double figures here, pushes forward from gate 3, and might have a bit of upside from Brigella, who was very impressive, dropping right out of a maiden and rounding them up on the turn. It looked good, the blue colours there. And Snackbar gets a suck runner on the leader, and both runs have been good. The grey, so yeah, the debutant Bring Forth from the Godolphin runners there. The second is a benchmark 70 over the mile for the girls. An average race here. Don't like it at all. If I'm gonna bet, I'm gonna have something on Americana, who just gets a massive drop in grade and can posse up, I think, here, around a $13 worth of spec. Look, these all take turns in this grade. Not overly enthused beyond that. Yeah, as I said, Americana, big drop. It's been chasing, Nunthorpe and Wishaw Lass in past lives. Perhaps fits this in well. Might even spec Disturbia if I do bet away from that, just because it will lead. The third is a benchmark 70 over the 1,000. I've come up with Randwick. I'm not particularly comfortable about it. One run in 3 years, but best horse in the race, at least was once upon a time, and has trialled a number of trials, and they've looked pretty good here. I imagine it's a project horse for the stable, and this looks a suitable kickoff point for it. Away from that, I looked at Field of Flutes, but there's quite a bit of pace here, so I was just steering a bit away from the on-paces, but just noticed it's $14, and at that price, might be worthwhile. And a very interesting runner in here is Squad, again in a past life with the Hawks team. Had some ability, lost its way last time out, but Gavin Bedgood can get these used horses going and is an interesting runner, one of the more interesting runners on the card, actually. And we'll see what price it gets to, whether or not I just have a little dabble on it as well. Fourth is a 2,000 metre handicap. Go with Gala on here. Second up in Oz. Nice enough Australian debut. I think natural improvement, 2,000 metres. Perhaps is enough to turn the table on Aaron Bay, who beat it home last time out. Aaron Bay always does everything right, puts itself in the right spot, will run honestly enough. But look, Jamie Mott, probably one of the go-to riders for me on this card, and I think can run well here. We'll put it on top. Yeah, talked about the two main chances. Sunsets perhaps needs some luck at some point in its life. Linda Meach might do the job there next best. The fifth is the benchmark 78 over 1,200 metres, and I could make a case for half a dozen here. Very, very tricky race. Usually, as a result, it means I'm going to go looking for value, and I've come up with a freshie here. It's kicking off back at home in Who Dares. Really good form last prep. Going to gate 15, maybe sticky at Mornington, but if can get across there and find either running line or outside lead, worthwhile spec here. Resumes off a trial win as well, as I said, back at home for Team Carey. Looks like a nice kickoff point. Big watch. The other one I thought was a big price. Just where I'm looking here is $27. Two nice wins. Went and chased Midtown Boss up straight and was okay. And this is a nice drop in grade. Praga did beat it home in that race, so has to be considered a live chance if I'm looking that way. So I'll play around with those three and see if we can't have a bit of luck there. The 6 is the Mornington Guineas for the 3-year-olds. God damn it, I don't like this race at all. I'm putting Grid Girl on top for the sake of a tip. I think it's worked its way through the grades nicely. I think the mile suits looked pretty good last time out. Savabeel mare, I believe, so mile should be no issue at all. It's not a Sav, it's out of a Sav mare. Out of a Sav mare, by time test. I think the mile's going to suit. Nice run for Blake McDougall. He'll do everything right, and I think it's worth some interest from Rip Raw, the other Kiwi, for the Forsman Yard. Nice win. He first up in Oz, and on the end of the day, this is a pretty lowly race, benchmark 70 at best. So we'll play around with those two here. Quaddie kicks off with a 2,000 metre benchmark 78. And see what I see, just keeps jumping the bar stylishly every time. Going to find a lovely run here. And that was really soft last time out. Not much more to beat. Not much more to talk about. Even money, probably fair enough. A couple for the exotics here. Savoir Faire in the Tiaco colours. Nice Australian debut. If we're swooping, 20s is worth some consideration. And a Genius down the bottom. Resuming stayer. Lightly raced. Might be able to get into a hole as well. I think it's been a little bit missed by the market. Not a bad horse at all. The feature is the Mornington Cup 2,400 metre listed race. And I'm looking away from the Melbourne form and come up with a couple again. A bit Kiwi heavy here, but Nereus, another one that keeps jumping the bar, lightly raced, coming off a black type win last time out, Group 2 win, in fact. Last time out, I thought that was a good race. McNabb's over to ride it, and another Sav on the card, but will be in a finish around the each way price. I'll put it on top from Little Mix, who brings some proper Sydney form down here, chasing the likes of Serpentine out. Didn't have a great deal of luck in a couple of those runs in Sydney. Last time I was out to this distance, it was in a photo finish with Stockman, who got its preferred conditions at the time, was going much better than it has lately. Obviously, can you forgive First Immortal, was just racked up on the inside and may well be heavily backed here because under all other circumstances, looks clearly the best horse away from the different form. Race 9 is a 1,200 metre Hariba Stakes, a listed contest. And another interesting runner here, in Fashion Shoot, comes over from a weight for age Group 1 in New Zealand, over a mile, freshened up, back to 1,200 metres, 20 to 1. I'm going to find out. I thought it was a tremendous run in that run as well. Before that was a nice win over a group performed horse whose name I've just forgotten. Mustang Valley. So I just thought it was just a very interesting runner on his card, and I'm going to put it on top. Pintoff, first up for the Mars stable, is interesting. Went off to the other yard, had 2 nice wins. Now resumes for Kieran Maher off 2 nice trials, and I thought it's an interesting runner. Might have more upside here and can run well. And Mahaba, Grand Impact, both live chances. Grand Impact heavily backed, actually, I believe. We're coming off a big break. We ran okay. Mahaba ran well as well last time out. A couple of others we'll get to when I've got to make up a quaddie now. Let's finish off with a benchmark 84. I'm going to fall into it again. I'm going to tip Gregolimo on top. Keeps finding its way to put itself into the perfect position. Keeps looking like it's about to bolt in and keeps getting beaten. But now I'm hoping a prep under its belt. Suck run from gate 1. First up, second prep in Oz. They've ironed out the few of the kinks. I think it's best horse, and if it turns up and wants to stick its nose out, can win this. From Dashing and Frigid, they're honest. They won't let you down if you're going to look that way. And I've got to watch on this American horse down here, Quantum Cat. Debuts for Waller, turns up from overseas and has been gelded. I thought it was a bit of a watch to see how that pans out as well. Quaddie, let's have a look at this. Alrighty, first leg we'll go 3, see what I see. 6, Savoir Faire. 13, The Genius. Second leg we'll go with 1, Captain Envious. 4, First Immortal. 7, Nereus. 8, Little Mix. 10, Strawberry Rock. Third leg, 1, Jigsaw. 5, Pintoff. 7, Fashion Shoot. 10, Mahaba, 11, Grand Impact, 13, Party for 1. And down the bottom, actually that Snowden runner, 15, Devil's Throat. And we'll come home with 2, Gregolimo, 4, Dashing, 8, Frigid, and 11, Quantum Cat. My best from Mornington, it's going to be race 7, number 3, see what I see. And my value, race 5, we'll look at the pair I mentioned there, number 5, Who Dares, and number 7, Big Watch. I don't have much else from the rest of Oz, so I know the Quokka's on. I know there's some good racing all around Australia. Looking forward to watching that amidst seeing the Tigers upset the Panthers in Bathurst. Give them strength, give me strength, and join us again next week. Hopefully the Beaver's back. Subscribe. You find us on Spotify and YouTube. But thanks, guys. Talk soon.